And you're the one that she was talking to when she called me a witch.
She was using some kind of voodoo or, magical powers.
Really? Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Freya Tate. In today's video, I am sharing a story of how my mother-in-law called me a witch. Yes. Oh. Yes, my mother-in-law called me a witch. My story started in 2004 when we had just gotten married. We felt like it was in the best interest for our relationship not to tell my mother-in-law that we were married. After we got married, James went back to Canada. I relocated from Africa to Canada. And James told, literally everyone within his circle that he was married. He even told the sister that he was married. So I did not have any reservations to the thing that we talked about, that perhaps we shouldn't let his mom know that he's married at this time, because for one, she was a strong, tough cookie kind of woman, very
Ornery and stubborn.
Yeah, I think she was complicated. Yeah, unfortunately, she's dead. She died in 2018. Yeah.
I come in for a second?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Well, all I want to say on behalf of my mother, she was a woman of tremendous character, very honest, an incredible amount of integrity. She had a lot of good qualities, but because of her age, she came from the generation like World War II, even before World War II, the Depression. So when we got married, I told my friends, I told people I knew from school, I told my sister, people at work, but my mom I saved for later because I knew she wasn't going to take it. It wasn't going to be 100% positive. It was going to take her a while to come around, and yeah. So that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah. When I was younger, I saw some women that got along so well with their mothers-in-law, and so I was like, I want to be that woman who gets along with the mother-in-law. Like, you go shopping, you talk, you sit, you chat, and everything. So I really wanted that relationship with my mother-in-law. So on our first anniversary, I told James that I really wanted you to go ahead and tell your mom that you are married. I could tell he wasn't keen on doing that because obviously he knows the mother better than I did. But then at the same time, he wanted to make me happy. So after, we just had a special dinner that night at a very nice high-end restaurant, and so we were all happy. It's our first anniversary and all that. We went back home and I was like, just call your mom. Tell her that you're married now. You're a big boy. And things will be okay. Things will be okay. Trust me. Yeah. And so he picked up the phone, called the mom, and broke it to her that he was now married. I just saw the look on his face of like, uh-oh, Houston, we have a problem. I couldn't hear much of what she was saying, but I could tell she wasn't happy, and she was on the phone and she's like, and I just felt so sorry for James. I am the one that caused this. If it wasn't for me, to egg him on to tell the mom that he was married. Perhaps this wasn't gonna happen. But at the same time, I was like, well, what can we do? The cat is already out of the bag. So let's just see how we can deal with it. For a while, she wasn't speaking to James and everything. We tried, well, he tried calling her and telling her and talking to her and everything, but nah, it wasn't cutting. At some points, James was at work. I didn't tell him any of what I was planning to do, but I just picked up the phone. I called my mother-in-law. I reached out. I tried. God knows how much I tried. I really, really wanted to have a relationship with her. And so I got her started. Then she was on like, how could you do this? How could you just run off to Africa and get married and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, this is not what I called for. I didn't call for a lecture. Then I was like, ma'am, don't you think that your son is the one that's responsible here? He went to Africa and married me. I didn't know you. You didn't know me. So I just said, well, we cannot go backwards. Let's just go forwards. Okay? And no, she wasn't cutting it. She wasn't coming around until I respectfully said, okay, I think that's good for today. I'll call you again later so I can check on you. Because at the same time, I had heard that she just had a surgery, eye surgery. And so I just called to see how she was doing and how she was getting on after the surgery and everything. Actually, she was like, who told you I had a surgery? I'm like, okay, James told me you had a surgery. And I don't think she liked that. So anyways, we kind of like, okay, just waited it out, hoping that she would come around one of these years, which she didn't. But you know what's ironic though? So James and herself got each other when, you know, like on special occasions. She never spoke to me. She never talked to me or never asked about me. But you know what's ironic? She would just randomly send stuff like kitchen utensils, and she would presents. She sent me a ring, she sent me a watches, rings, and she was good like that. Yeah. So I found it ironic, and I prayed that one of these days she's going to come round. We actually, you know, decided that we moved to Africa. And so James told her that we are moving to Africa. She was mad. She was furious. And she's like, oh, that witch wife of yours is bewitching you. That's the reason why you're not thinking clearly and you're moving to Africa and all that. James was disappointed that his own mom could say those hateful things.
Such irrational.
Yeah, to me, to the wife. He was really disappointed about that. But again, I didn't take it personal, because I think she was thinking irrationally. I was thinking rationally. I'm like, well, perhaps she's just mad because, like, you know, her only son went off to Africa, got married, and yeah, I was giving excuses for her. Guys, please, if you have had such an experience with your mother-in-law? Please be sure to comment down below and just let's have a discussion. If you are getting on so well with your mother-in-law, again, just drop a comment. Let's see how your relationship is going. We'll be happy for you. Okay. So the time came for us to move to Africa, and she was obviously old and we couldn't just leave her like that. We set her up in this beautiful home, nursing home, and everything was taken care of. We put her in this home, and
is my mother's age. She was mad at me because of my sister. And what I mean by that, what happened, my sister had gone off when she was maybe 19 or 20. She'd moved from the province where we were at, gone back to Quebec, which was very far away, met a guy, French guy, and she got married to him. Everything was above board, but my mom didn't get to go to the wedding, and I think that's why she was disappointed. I understand it, but you know, my sister and my mom hadn't gotten along. And my mom held a grudge against my sister for probably the better part of 15 years. And eventually they started to get along better. But before that, you wouldn't believe how stubborn, and both of them were stubborn. So they just weren't reaching out to each other like they could have. And now, about 10 or 15 years later, now I go and I get married. And the way I did it, unfortunately, not with the intention of hurting my mother, but just because of the situation that we had, but it was like a replay for her. And so she got mad at me too. But here's the thing, when you're 86 or 87 years old, you just don't have time all those years to have a grudge, to hold a grudge, and to, you know, to hang on to your pride or whatever feeling of wrongdoing, and then get over it. Because she didn't live to be 100, she lived to be 98, and maybe a couple years more she could have made up and we could have had a reconciliation, but it just didn't happen. So that was it. It was she was too old for that.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's it. That's the explanation. That's the context for what help you understand where she was coming at, and more about our situation between each other and trying to get along with my mom.
Yeah, and you're the one that she was talking to when she called me a witch. What she say? What she say?
Okay, here's the thing, and I learned something new about my own mother that day. You know, sometimes a woman will say to the other woman, like when they don't like each other, oh, you're a bitch, oh, you're a witch. And they mean it to say that I don't like it. But I think that my mom honestly believed that she was using some kind of voodoo or, you know, magical powers.
Really?
Magic powers above and beyond what normal female personality and attractiveness is capable of. So she said it. She really said it. We'll never forget it. And that's it.
Okay.
She was a character, for sure, right? She was a character.
So, you hear James? Whether she meant it or no, I didn't take it personal because why are you laughing at me?
No, it's just, you know, I was there, I witnessed the whole thing, and it just popped out. It was so unexpected, but it was memorable, right?
Yeah.
And now you know.
This has been your girl Frida Tate. If you're not yet subscribed to my channel, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, join the family, turn on the post notification button so that each time I upload a brand new video, you are notified. We'll see you guys.